is the Writer's Almanac for Thursday, May the 12th, 2022. It was on this date, 1847, the Mormon pioneer William Clayton invented the odometer. The Mormons were migrating from Missouri to Utah, and he'd been trying to keep track of how far they had traveled by counting the revolutions of a wagon wheel, and finally fixed a set of wooden cog wheels to the hub of a wagon wheel so as to tell the exact number of miles traveled each day. He called it the roadometer, and it was used the following year by the 49ers heading out to California for the gold rush. It's the birthday of Farley Mowat, born in Belleville, Ontario, 1921, went off to Italy when he was 18 to serve in World War II, and where he said he came to feel a sense of revulsion against his own species in wartime. He wrote a book about his dog back home, the dog who wouldn't be, and then wrote about the Canadian Arctic. His book Never Cry Wolf came out in 1963. He was adopted by a small Inuit tribe, lived with them for 6 months. There were only 40 of them left out of a population that had numbered in the thousands. He campaigned to conserve the Arctic mammals that the Inuit depended on for their survival. And then he wrote a book about them, People of the Deer. It's the birthday of Florence Nightingale, born in Florence, Italy, to a wealthy English family in 1820. Over her parents' objection, she decided that she wanted to be a nurse. Nursing was a working-class job at the time, and her parents were horrified. But she went to school, and during the Crimean War, she went off to Turkey to take care of English soldiers. Conditions in the field hospitals were appalling, and she began a campaign to reform them. But she thought mistakenly that the high death rates were due to poor nutrition, and it wasn't until after the war that she realized that sanitation was the problem. She went on after the war to fight for hospital reform and the education of nurses, and became one of the most famous women in Great Britain. Founded a school of nursing in 1860, but she suffered from post-traumatic stress disorder, and after the war she became an invalid herself. Here's a poem for today by Jim Harrison, 7 in the Woods. Am I as old as I am? Maybe not. Time is a mystery that can tip us upside down. Yesterday I was 7 in the woods, a bandage covering my blind eye, in a bedroll Mother made me so I could sleep out in the woods, far from people. A garter snake glided by without noticing me. A chickadee landed on my bare toe, so light she wasn't believable. The night had been long, and the treetops thick with 1 trillion stars. Who was I, half blind, on the forest floor? Who was I at age 7? 68 years later, I can still inhabit that boy's body without thinking of the time between. It is the burden of life to be many ages without seeing the end of time. A poem by Jim Harrison, Drinking Song, from Jim Harrison, The Essential Poems, published by Copper Canyon Press and used by permission here on the Writer's Almanac. Be well, do good work, and keep in touch.